So this is The Long Dark by Hinterland Studios. It's a survival game that's currently in alpha, as you can see up there, and it's been available for a couple of days on the Steam Early Access program. It's a survival game. There's no zombies, there's no cannibal mutants, there's no horror aspect. It's just you versus the elements, and the idea of the game is that you have to survive as long as possible when everything is against you. The final game will have a story mode to it, but that's not in the alpha, and apparently that's something that's only going to be put out there once the game goes into release, which is a pretty good way of doing it, because then they can test all the systems in the sandbox game, and other players, you haven't played the story through 30 times, you know, and got bored of it by the time the game comes out, so that's quite a clever way of approaching it. Right, we'll start it off and see how we go. One of the things I really like about it is this stylized graphic style. Well, there we go. So yeah, you get a brief description of why we're in this situation, and some vaguely relevant quote from some novelist or philosopher or historical figure or whatever. So let's wait for it to load up, see what terrible situation we start in. There we are. Okay, so we seem to be on a hillside, relatively sheltered. If you press the tab key, you get the current time up there, which is 8:52 AM. Tells you what the temperature at the moment is. That includes the air temperature and the wind chill. And it also shows any warmth bonus you get from the clothes that you are wearing. Your condition is how healthy you are, obviously. It's basically like hit points. As you get colder, as you get more hungry, as you take damage from being attacked by wolves or injuring yourself in any way, your condition goes down. When it goes down to 0, that's it, you're dead. So you've got fatigue, cold, hunger and thirst. These are your four main things you've got to keep an eye on. Fatigue you manage by sleeping and resting. Cold obviously by keeping warm and staying out of the elements. Hunger and thirst speak for themselves, food and drink respectively. I can hear a wolf barking there in the distance, so I'm not sure how safe it's going to be to stay down here. I have to get moving pretty soon. But there's your calories. That's your calorie store. That's how much you've got in your body at the moment, and that is constantly going down, and it's going down at your calories per hour rate. Your calories per hour, I would presume, changes when you run or when you walk, and also possibly dependent on the temperature, but I've not put that to the test at all. Here you've got loads of options that you can do at any given time. We haven't really got time for that. The main thing to do at the moment is to get moving. As you can see, the cold is going up quite a bit because it's minus 23 degrees centigrade. So there's nowhere to go. Oh, is there? No, can't get up that way. As I was saying before, the graphic style is quite unique, and I really like it. I like the you know, the starkness of the snow on the, you know, caught up on the rocks like that. There's a wolf up there. Hopefully we'll be getting away from it down here. Maybe it can't get down here. Wolves are pretty much the only sort of enemy in the game, you know, apart from the environment itself and the incessant cold. And when you get into a fight with a wolf, it doesn't go well. You know, you're going to lose half your health at least. If you're lucky, you know, chances are you're going to get eaten alive, or at least injured to the point of no return. So you've got to watch out for those. There were no weapons in the game apart from a rifle that is stashed somewhere in the game. That we want to, just looking at this place here. Yeah, but I've never found the rifle, so I don't know anything about it. I found bullets, but I've never found the rifle. So it looks like I've come into an old forestry area. Yeah, clear cut. So around here, presumably, there's going to be some kind of site office or maybe even a camp. There's a bit of fence and sign over there. I'm going to run. As I said, I'm not sure if running is a good idea if you need to, because you need to save your calories, obviously, because once they run out you start starving. And of course, you know, the colder it gets, presumably the more calories you need to... what's that sign say? Just run past it. So it's narrow up there. Right, so there's definitely something up there. Right, we're now freezing. The bottom right hand screen, you can see my condition monitor's popped up, which means that I'm actually, well, effectively taking damage from the environment. I'm so cold now that I'm literally freezing. So getting into some kind of shelter as soon as possible is a good idea.
So cold.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. So, here we go. I thought that was going to be it then. I thought that was like a snowed in building, but no such luck. It's a fairly clear sky. So our calories were down below 3,000 calories. Hold on. That was like a radio mast. It's looking promising. Let's get up here. Look, that's although to be honest I'm not too sure if this is a good place to be, because it's on top of a hill and it's on top of a load of stilts, so it's not exactly protected from the elements. I can't imagine it'd be very warm up here, but maybe there's some stuff that can keep us alive a bit longer. There's the door. What have we got here? Food.
That'll come in handy.
Yes, it will. Firewood, that'll come in handy too. Oh, there we go. Yeah, newsprint and newspapers and all that kind of stuff. Right, here's there's more firewood. Excellent. So we're going to light this fire. To light a fire, you need 3 essential elements. Either starter, which is like matches, or a striker, something like that. Tinder, which I would call kindling. You know, just anything basically that can get a fire going. So you got a tinder plug, or you got a newsprint roll. The newsprint roll we just picked up, and fuel. And we've got 2 lots of cedar firewood. You can use an accelerant, which is like lighter fluid or something like that, for some kind of fire starter. Which puts a chance of success up to 100%, but we've only got one of those at the moment. Cedar firewood, it burns for an estimated hour. Chance of success is 75% of lighting it, and we've got a base fire starting skill of 50. So I'm going to start without the accelerant to start with. Top of the screen you've got a bar there showing progress. At any point during that progress the attempt can fail. There we go. Right, so we've got a bit of warmth going. I'm going to take all this stuff. What's that? Rifle ammunition.
Looks like this has been here a while.
I'll pick that up, whatever it is. Metal container. Matches, that's... gloves. Now, as I understand it, the hunting knife is not actually a weapon. It's a tool for carving meat off of dead animals that you find. Or presumably dead animals that you kill.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
Yeah. There's nobody here, mate. It's just us. So in that first aid kit there was a candy bar and a water bottle. Have that. Oh look, crowbar.
I could use this.
You could use it, but not for battering wolves in. Again, even though the crowbar is a bit of a classic starting weapon in first-person games, thanks to Half-Life. Not here, sadly. Right, so let's check our condition at the moment. We're warming up a little bit. Using up a lot of calories, though. Oh, that's going down now. Right, so let's have a look at our equipment. This is the inventory, it's just a list, nothing spectacular or particularly inventive there. You can filter it by type, so we'll go to the clothing, so I picked up some basic gloves. So you can look at the things that you're wearing at the moment. So we'll look at our basic gloves now, and condition is 99%, and you get a warmth and you get a windproof bonus, which obviously reduces the increases the ambient temperature in both those categories by that. So basically it gives a 2% bonus against whatever the weather is. The gloves we've just picked up, they're not as good, so they're not really worth worrying about. So pretty much everything else is rubbish. Yeah, the gloves are basically the best thing we've got. So that's our clothing. First aid, we've got some antibiotics, some antiseptic and a bandage. So that's just what we've obviously just started with. Food and drink, not very much. Half a litre of water, which we've got from the that water bottle we picked up. You can actually 21 minutes left of this fire, which isn't really long enough. But if you click on the fire, you can cook food. So if you've got any raw meat, you can cook it on the fire. We can also melt the snow. So if we take a litre of snow, we can melt that. I don't think the fire's going to last long enough for that to complete. Oh, it has. It's just gone out. So we've got, it says at the bottom there, we've got about 0.9 litres of water left. I'm not going to use that last log. What I'm going to do is something else. I'll press the tab key and you've got this forage wood option. The equipment is basically your inventory, but we've got this forage wood option. So we can spend an hour looking for wood. It'll estimated calorie burn is 400 calories, and we'll get a bonus from a hatchet. So there we go. So we've got yeah, we don't know exactly how much, but anyway, we'll forage for an hour. So we use up 400 calories and see how much we come back in the log department. Hatchet's nearly broken. I've got 2 pieces of wood. So what time is it now? 12:33. It's quite warm in here now. We're not cold at all now. So, but I'm going to burn one of these pieces of wood because if we can get the fire going. So I want to boil that melted snow, turn it into drinkable water. So 0.9, boil that. Yes, we've got more water now. Oh, it's 15 degrees centigrade in here. That's fantastic. So there's other options. You can start a fire outside. Obviously you can't build a fire inside. You can repair things if you've got the right tools. You can use a sewing kit, I think, or a box of tools to fix the hatchet, and it shows you there the materials you need. Not really relevant because we haven't got the requirements. You can harvest things, so you get a drop down list here that shows all the items you're currently carrying. We've got some basic gloves that we're not wearing because they're rubbish, and that will yield 1 piece of cloth. So we'll start the harvest. Takes a little bit of time, and every time you do these things you may notice the time at the top actually starts going faster. You've got the map, which isn't in the alpha. First aid, so if you get any afflictions or anything like that, you can manage all that here. I've not actually looked at that previously. We've got a log which just basically gives us a time-stamped list of the things that we've discovered. You've got a bedroll that you can sleep on. You kind of place it, you've seen the kind of thing in other games. And then once that's out, you can sleep on it, but we're not going to bother with that. And finally, snow shelter, which we can't do. So our main issues at the moment is fatigue and hunger. Calorie store's dropping off pretty seriously, so it's probably a good idea to drink some, to eat some food. So to eat food, very simple. You go to there, go to your equipment, you go to the food and drink tab, and we're going to eat these peaches. But we can't because we haven't got a can opener. So the pink pork and beans going to be the same, isn't it? We haven't got a can opener. This is not good. So we've got a candy bar. That's it for food. And now that's it, we've pretty much emptied this place out. Even though it's warm and it's getting stormy outside, we're going to have to go outside. There's no point staying out. This is the thing with this game, is you don't get into a situation where you can just sort of build a base and stay there indefinitely. You're constantly on the move because you need food. And it doesn't seem that bad out here actually. It's -12. It's dropping off pretty seriously. Now, one thing about this that I don't think is right. I think how quickly you use up the calories that you've got, I think that's a little bit too high. Because in any kind of, I've done a lot of outdoor kind of stuff, in all weathers, all conditions, right out in the wilderness and stuff. I've never been to the top north of Canada, and been stranded after the apocalypse or anything quite as extreme as that, but I got some experience of doing this kind of thing for real. And your main concern is always short term. That's your primary thing is just staying safe in the short term, and that is always shelter. Food, you can go without food for, it's surprising how long you can go without food for. You'll get hungry, but that will abate over time. It's an odd thing. I've got no science behind this. I'm just talking on experience. I can't really recommend anything that I'm saying as any kind of advice for going out into the wilderness and surviving. It's just from my own experience kind of thing. Which I'm not Bear Grylls or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't feel accurate how quickly you need to get out and risk your life in the elements due to starvation. But it is in alpha. All these things are going to be tweaked over time. So, I think the calorie. The other thing is when your calories drop down to 0, then you start into the starvation situation. You start losing condition, and that's not really how it. Oh, look at that. That's not really how it works, obviously. Because you burn stat body fat reserves. Some cotton socks, not very good. Rubbish. There's got to be more to this logging operation than just that lookout. It seems to be the road leading out. There's a sign there. really conscious of how rapid this wind is and how cold it is. Ah, look. Either they're containers or porta cabins. That's what you want. A bit of 2 porta cabins, 3 porta cabins. There we go, logging camp. Oh, there's a wolf. Right, let's get inside here. Yeah, the wolves are not good. Right, it's got an energy bar. Might as well eat that straight away, I think. Some pop. We'll take that. Plastic container.
What have we here?
Looks like painkillers to me. Gloomy. Accelerant, that's good. So these beds, when I hover over the beds, heavy wool sweater. That's got to be good, right? Yeah, we'll go back to the bed thing in a second. I'm just gonna see what this heavy. So there you go, 1.1, 0.7 on the bonus compared to what we're wearing at the moment. It's considerable improvement, so we'll wear that. Yeah, the beds. If you click on the bed, you get an option to rest. You can rest for an hour or more. You still burn calories when you're resting. This is something that I don't think is quite balanced right yet. That's a lot of calories for resting. It sort of makes resting a little bit of a, it reduces your fatigue, but it doesn't really, because you're still burning your calories. There's more cotton socks.
That'll come in handy.
Newspaper. Right. Is that a box? No. Wolf is still there. Hasn't seen us though, which is good. Look, storm lantern. We'll take
Hope
that.
nobody needs this anymore.
In fact, that storm lantern. Where is it? It's a tool, storm lantern, and that's how it works. Everything falls into a category. It's a tool just by. Hasn't got very much fuel though. So we'll equip it anyway. So, and to light it, you just left click. There. Ideal.
I could use this.
So, yeah, we'll take that. So that's kerosene. It's obviously fuel for the more pop. Yeah, fuel for the lantern. More accelerant. Down ski jacket, that's got to be good. Right, so we'll go back to the clothing. Down ski jacket. Well, you're not currently wearing a jacket, I don't think. It's not very good though, but it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. I would have thought a skiing jacket would have been a lot better than that. Yeah, really warm as a rule. More newspaper.
What have we here?
So that's this place cleaned out. I'm just going to let the lantern burn out. I'm not really worried about saving the fuel. You never know in these. Oh look. Yeah, I thought that was a baguette.
That'll come in handy.
Yes, it will. Fire log, brilliant. So we've got plenty of fuel for fires. Although these porta cabins haven't got any. They don't have a stove, do they? I've not noticed. Let's have a look. Grab everything we can. Oh, brilliant flare.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
I think we're good. Basic gloves. Get to the gloomy end and before the lantern runs out of power. Nothing there. Energy bar, I'll take that. Another container. Oh, an MRE. That's got to be a good thing. Scarf.
I could use this.
Yeah, bandages. That's a smash up chair, isn't it? We'll take that. Yeah, got wood, as it were. Right, this thing I can just turn off now. To turn off your lantern, you kind of double click and hold. So we're going to unequip that now. Tool, storm lantern. We'll refuel it first. Back up to 90%. You can also. I've still got it, haven't I? What time is it? 3:20 PM. Yeah, you can press 1 to equip a flare. I'm not sure if you can see that. 2 for your lantern, and right. So I've got to get you outside again. Calories are dropping. Should really have eaten inside the house. Oh, look how many calories that MRE's got in it. Save that anyway. We're going to have the energy bar for now. And I want my calories over 2,000. Oh, I still haven't got a tin opener. Right, okay, so I have to go as we are then. Oh, it's 2 wolves. Now wolves, apparently you can frighten them off with a flare, but it's not guaranteed. And if you don't frighten them off, they attack you, and then you're into the questionable combat system. It's not really a combat game, it's not an action game, so the combat system is, you know, it's not really designed for that kind of thing. I mean, basically the way it works is you get attacked by a wolf and you have a red bar at the bottom and you spam your left mouse button until that red bar fills up. All the time, every click you make, the bar goes up a bit and then it drops back between your clicks, so you've got to spam it pretty quickly in order to let it build up. And when it's built up to full, then you can press the right mouse button, and that will do damage to the wolf, who will either run away or continue attacking. Or apparently, I have read on the forums, you can actually kill them with your bare hands. I have no idea if I've got lost or what here. So, more logs. Ah, is this? That's a railway track, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so let's follow this. I'm glad I avoided them wolves anyway, because they're nothing but trouble. Wolves up there, there's one there, look. This is not ideal, it's right in the way. Now what you can do is you can, you'll just notice there in the bottom left it just says warmer, because now I'm in the lee of this rock. It's keeping the wind off. That might be a tree actually. Don't know what to do about that wolf. I don't think there's any avoiding it. Maybe he's not hungry. Maybe I'm just tempting fate. Get past to this Right, crash train. Okay, so this is good. We've got past that wolf. And it looks like there's a dead deer here. Now we've got that, I'm going to have to be pretty quick though. Because we've picked up that knife. Oh, we've got a hatchet, we use the hunting knife. We'll harvest that. It's going to take 20 minutes, that's not good. Right, so we've got to... Oh, look at the weather. Let's take a sudden turn for the worst. We've got to find somewhere to stay pretty quick. Sewing kit will take that. There's a wolf nearby, it's really close. Right, here we go. See what I mean? That didn't go particularly well. We've got blood loss. Oh, there's another wolf. Unbelievable. Stuck on this log.
I'm not sure I'm gonna make it.
Ah, that's it. We're never going to survive this. Never going to survive this. Yeah, eaten by a wolf. So that's the long dark. As you can see, it's pretty brutal, you know. For me, I think it needs a lot more tweaking. I mean, this isn't a criticism, this is constructive criticism, because it's in alpha, it's in development. But for me, the general feel of the game, surviving against the elements, is all there. That's done pretty well. I do think the food needs to be a little bit readjusted, because you tend to get hungry a little bit too quick. Now I think that might be something that as you play it more, you might see where the balance is in that. You know, you might be able to play within that. So that's maybe a bit of an early judgment. But it is something that I think developers need to bear in mind. So all that's good. You know, you're wandering around, you've got the elements against you, you find your fire, you go from place to place, basically surviving, building up your supplies, moving on to the next place. It's a good dynamic. The environment feels right, the sound effects all are right, the graphic style really suits the kind of game it is. The wolves, to me, they're a little bit annoying because there's nothing you can do about them. You know, if you get attacked by one wolf, as you saw there, my condition was right in the high 90s, and the one wolf attack, there wasn't much you could do about that. I used a flare, as you saw, and it didn't make any difference. Sometimes they'll run away from that, sometimes you're safe, other times you're not. But the wolves are basically there, they'll finish the game. You know, two wolf attacks in rapid succession like that, there's no surviving that, unless you find the rifle, which is on the splash screen there, but not actually anywhere that I've found. It is in the game, just haven't found it. So yeah, so would I recommend this on early access? I think I would. If you're the kind of person who's quite happy to go into a game before it's complete and see how it's developing, on the specific understanding that the game's going to be buggy, it's going to be incomplete, and there's going to be issues with it, then yes, I would. It's a game that I know for a fact I'm going to play this quite a few times over the next week, and then I'll probably just leave it. Like most of the other early access games, I'll just leave it for a while and come back, 4 or 5 updates down the line when there's more to it. And I think that's probably the best way to approach all of these kind of early access games. But it's showing an awful lot of potential, and I think, even though the market seems to be filling up a little bit now with survival games, this one has enough to mark it out from the others to make it worth it. If they can address the balance issues, which I'm sure they will, and put a few more options in for for just different sort of gameplay elements, then it's going to be a winner. It's going to be a pretty unique addition to the whole survival genre. So yeah, I mean, it's a good game. So if you fancy it, give it a go. I think it's 15 quid on Steam at the moment, which might be a bit steep. I'm not entirely sure. I'm quite happy to pay up to 20 quid for a game that piques my interest, but that's obviously that everyone's different, so you know, make your choice based on how much you like the look of it and how much money you've got burning holes in your pockets. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to log off this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.